Hey everybody, Christina here. We are going to go through pause and practice for Excel Chapter 3. This will be the practice 3-2. So just like we have before, you'll need your previously saved file from Excel 3-1, and we'll use that as we build 3-2. And we'll start in on number 2, which is to add a chart title. And our instructions tell us to select the profit and loss sheet tab and the chart object. So I go to my profit and loss sheet tab down at the bottom, and then I click on my chart object. When you click on your chart object, it gives you these little round white circles along the edge of your chart. That lets you know that you've selected your chart object. Now, when I do that, I have a few little icons here on the right. I've got my chart elements quick button. I've got my chart styles quick button, and then I have a filter quick button. And so you can use those as just a kind of a shortcut. So I'm going to click on the chart elements button, and then I'm going to click on the chart title button. And you can see that added a chart element over here for me. Then I'm going to click the formula bar to type in monthly income by state. You can also highlight and type directly on the sheet if that suits you better. Okay, so I've got my title. I'm going to press enter, and then I'm going to go over to my home tab, and I'm just going to increase that font. Our instructions say to an 18 size font. Then I can just click anywhere outside of that chart object to deselect the text. Now you've added a chart title. We're going to move on to number 3, which is to format the chart and the plot areas. So my chart area is the whole chart area that I built. My plot area is kind of the inner piece of that. The plot area is the visual representation of the data that you use to build the chart. So we're about to do some formatting on the chart area, which is the larger outside, and the plot area, which is the inside. So our instructions are click the outside border for the chart object. So now I've got that highlighted. Then I'm going to click the Format tab up top, and I'm just going to verify over in the current selection in this dropdown that chart area is selected. It is. I'm good to go there. Then I'm going to click the More button under my Format tab and Shape Styles, which if you remember that More button is the little flat line with a little upside down triangle. I'm going to click that. And my color choice is going to be 1, 2, 3, the fourth row. And it's the one that is Subtle Effect Gray Accent 3. So you can see that puts a little color behind my chart. Then I'm going to click that Chart Elements drop-down list up at the top here. And again, we're on our Format tab. And I want to highlight my plot area. And so now I'm going to go again to this More button under my Shape Styles. And I'm going to choose Gray Accent 3 for this one, which is in the fifth row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And so then you can see there's a little bit of a contrast now that I've built into my table. Next, we're going to format some grid lines in our chart so that it makes it visually easier for people to see where these charts land on what numeric number. So I'm going to click the Chart Elements Quick button. And again, that's the little plus sign over to the right. And then I'm going to select next to Grid Lines. When I click the little arrow next to Grid Lines, it gives me lots of choices. And so my instructions say that primary major grid lines are already selected, and I'm going to add primary minor horizontal. And so just watch the chart, what happens when I select that and deselect it. So the primary major grid lines are those lines that go with the even dollar amounts, like 25,000, 30,000, 35,000. But when I put the minor grid lines in, you can see that it marks the amounts in between those major grid lines. Now we're going to click that Chart Elements Quick button, and that'll close our menu for us. we're going to go to the chart elements drop-down list, which is over here to your left at the top. And we're going to select the vertical value axis major grid lines, which is right here. And that basically is going to track the values on our vertical axis for us. Now, next, we're going to add a little bit of color to this. So we're going to add some more contrast so it's visually easier to see. You can see it's not super clear right now. It'd be a little bit hard to read all of those lines. So we're going to click our Shape Outline button, which is on our Format tab, and it's in our Shape Styles area. So we're just going to click Shape Outline. And we're going to do black text 1, which is in that second column. And then you can see it added a little bit of contrast for me. We're going to select the minor grid lines and we're going to add that same color. So over to the left, I'm going to go over and I'm going to choose my minor grid lines. And then I'm going to go to my shape outline and I'm going to choose black for that also. So now it's a little bit easier to see with those black grid lines than it is with the white on gray. All right, so I'm going to pause this for just a minute so you can get caught up to this step, and then we'll be right back and we'll finish up this project. All right, we're going to pick back up with step number 5. And this is just a step to show you how to filter out some of your source data. So we're going to go to the Chart Filters Quick button. So if I click on my chart object, the little funnel is the one that is our filter. And I'm going to deselect Minnesota in this list. And then I'm just going to click apply. So with this, you can take out or put in any of the data that you previously selected to build your chart. Then I'm going to click that Chart Filters Quick button to close that window down for me. And we'll move on to step number 6, which is where we're changing our chart colors. So we're going to click our chart border, which it's already clicked. I've got those little identifiers on the outside, the little circles, to show me that my chart is selected. And I'm going to click the Chart Design tab. So that's up at the top. And then I'm going to click Change Color button, which is in our Styles. So we're going to click Change Color. And then we're going to go down and choose Monochromatic Palette 11. So I'm going to scroll down. I think it's this yellowish one. Yep. Perfect. So you may not be a super fan of those colors, but we're just going to do what the instructions say for right now. Okay, then my instructions tell me to click into cell B35. Now, here's a little heads up. We're going to come back to that B35 in just a moment. We're going to move on to step number 7, which is change the chart style. So we're going to click back to our income chart that we built a little bit earlier. So this one with the dark background. We're going to click the chart area to display our quick buttons. And then we're going to click that chart styles quick button, which is the little plus sign, oh, excuse me, the little paintbrush. And we're going to pick style number 3, which is, I believe, let's see here. You have to scroll up just a little bit maybe to get to, there we go. Number 3, which is kind of like a gradient gray background. All right, next we're going to learn how to use an icon as a fill. And so we are going to click our profit and loss sheet. And this is the one where we clicked in cell B35 earlier. What we're about to do is just grab an icon and we're going to put it on this sheet just so that we can copy it to our clipboard, because you can't put an icon into a chart sheet. So we literally are just going to do this, put an icon into this sheet so that we can copy it, put it into our clipboard, because we're going to use it on our income chart. Okay, so it says we're going to click our Insert tab and click on Icons. And we used icons a little bit earlier in our Microsoft Word area, so this will probably feel a little bit familiar for most of you. Our book tells us to type winner, and we're going to choose this little ribbon with the white fill. So it's kind of a black outline with a white fill. And it's going to drop it into our chart there for us once we've got that. We're going to press on our keyboard Control and the letter C, like copy. And then we're going to delete that icon. So again, we just needed somewhere to put it so that we could get it onto our clipboard. Now we're going to go to the income chart sheet and we're going to double click the Indiana bar. So let's find Indiana. We're going to double click that bar. When you do, over to the right of your screen, it opens what we call our format data series. And so there's a good bit of information we'll be working with in this format data series box. So what we want to do, we've already double clicked Indiana, is we're going to click the fill and line button in here. So this is going to be this little paint bucket. So we're going to click that. And then we're going to click fill. And then we're going to choose picture or texture fill. Now, it's going to automatically change it for you on Indiana, but we'll be working that out in just a moment. So what we're going to do next is we're going to click on our clipboard. Okay, just as a quick note, you might have saw that all of my data points here had this background in it. If that happens to you, just close your format shape. Make sure that you've selected the one bar. So we just need Indiana to have these little dots around it. Then we can choose our fill. Then we can choose our pattern fill. Excuse me, picture or texture fill. And then we're going to go down to click the clipboard because that's where we put the picture of that little prize ribbon. And yes, it's super distorted right now, but we're going to fix that up in our next steps. So once we've got that picture, we're going to expand or scroll our side pane, our data points, down to the border section. And right before that, where it says stretch is highlighted for me, I'm just going to click stack. And what that does is it puts multiple images of this icon together. Then we'll go down to the border section, and this is in letter N. And we're going to click solid line, and then that bar color appears around our border. And then we're going to close our task pane. So now we have a line around all of our little ribbons. So this was the winner. Indiana was the winner in this, and we just basically indicated it with some little cool prize ribbons. Okay, next we're going to move into step 9, where we will edit a chart title and apply word art. So let's take a look at those steps. Our first part of step 9 says that we are to triple click the title box to select the word total. So we're still on our income chart. So I'm just going to triple click that. That highlights it for us. And then we're going to add or edit the text to say total rental income for 3 months. Perfect. Once we've got that, we're going to go over to the Home tab and we're going to increase that size to 24. And you can select and use your mini pop-up box, or you can use it from the home screen or Home tab, whichever works better for you. Then after we've done that, we're going to click the border area of the chart title to display the selection handles for the text box. All that means is we're going to click it and then we have these little selection handles or the little dots around there. We're going to click the More button, which is on our Format tab in our Word Art Styles group. So we're going to click this More button under the Word Art Styles. And we're going to choose the one that is on the third row, the first icon. And so that's going to change that title that we had to a little bit of a fancier title. Next, on step number 10, we're going to remove data labels and show a data table. So right now at the bottom of our income chart, there isn't a data table, but we're about to build one. So we're going to click our Chart Elements Quick button, which is that little plus sign over on the right. And then we're going to go down to Data Labels, and we're going to deselect that. Now I'm going to reselect it so you can see that it's putting data labels at the ends of the rows there. Hopefully you can see that. It's in white, so it's a little bit tough to see. So we're going to deselect that, and then we're going to select the data table box. So we'll go down to data table. Oops, click that. And then we'll hover over. We're going to click that little arrow, and we're going to say no legend keys. So we don't need any legends or keys on our data table here. Then we're going to click the chart element box to close that up. I'm also going to click my side pane box that got opened up. But you can see down at the bottom right now, we've got a reference, a chart table. So it has the actual dollar amounts for each state so that we don't have to like use our eyes and see, okay, this is over 80,000, but how much over is it? Or over 90, how much over is it? We have just a little data table at the bottom there. Next, we're going to add alt text to a chart, and this is just for increased accessibility. So we're going to right click the border of our chart, and when we do, we get a pop-up box. And what we're going to do is we're going to look for edit alt text. We're actually going to choose view alt text so that we can add it. So there wasn't any existing alt text for us to view. Now, on step C for number 11, it gives us the information to type in. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so we've got that typed, and then it says we can close our pane. It's automatically going to save that information for you. Now, you have come to the end of the Excel pause and practice 3-2. Make sure you save this because you'll need this file in order to complete the final pause and practice for Excel chapter 3. So I'll see you on the next video.